Welcome, everybody. Live from the paddock, F1 America, live on Instagram. We got a lot to talk about today. I'm very excited. Derek, take it away.
Guys, we are talking about F1 Miami Grand Prix. We're talking about Fernando Alonso, and we're talking about fantasy and always rumors. So thanks for watching here on F1 America, and we will get into it.
And maybe it's Max. It might be Max and just how much of another level fucking Red Bull is. Like, he would have walked away from that. Jordan, actually, our first guest, almost ruined the race for me last weekend because I didn't get to watch it because we were at the races. And I got a text and I saw his name pop up, but I didn't see the preview. And I was like, I told Raina, I was like, you got to look at that because I'm not looking at it because I know he's going to ruin. It's going to be something about F1 and it's going to ruin the race for me.
I know what we had something going on too. And so I watched like the first half and I was coming back and somebody, Maxine, had messaged me something about like, oh, Max, like winning, boo, or something. I was like, oh, I haven't watched the rest. and she kind of played it off like, oh, I haven't seen it yet either. Just
saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, it was just something like, I don't know for sure. I was like, But, you know, hey, we got some F1 America swag now.
So definitely shoot us a DM. Shoot us a DM. What we're going to do, if you're local, you can pick them up for $20. If you want us to ship them to you, $25 flat, I will throw it in the mail and mail it to your doorstep. And we appreciate the support. And all that money's going straight back into the show, whether it's more merch, better equipment, better reporting. Trying to do better content. I know I'm really bad at some of it, but I'm trying to get better every day. We're learning better every day.
We got some new concepts, some reacts videos coming, some other segments coming up. So if you guys have ideas on stuff you'd like to see, let us know too.
Make sure to tag us Instagram. Zach, I know you're watching this. Make sure if you're wearing the F1 America merch, tag us, whether it's a story, a post. We appreciate the support. Yep. We're actually official now with these shirts. So, there's other F1 pods out there that don't even have shirts.
That's right.
We're a step above.
Forget about them.
We're a step above.
Yeah, I did see somebody's, I wouldn't say copying our idea, but they're copying our idea. As far as American F1 channel, hey, you know what? We were the first. Maybe we weren't the first, but we're the first official show. First official show to really start doing a lot of segments, I'd like to believe.
Well, actually, speaking of those guys, I'm not going to drop any names, but they were like, they just repost a bunch of shit, and then they have like 30-second videos of them talking to each other. So, I don't care.
If you guys like,
and they have money. I don't have money to go to races. They're going to fucking Brazil, so fuck those guys. They obviously have daddies paying their way.
Maybe this channel will pay our way, but yeah, they're definitely starting off with more money for advertising, and that's how I saw them. Is a sponsored ad or something, which I don't care. The more eyes, that people get into the whole America F1 scene, we're gonna pop up too. So we're stoked for just having more people.
We might as well dive right into the Miami results because we kind of started talking about it anyways. If you don't know, now you know. Max won the race by just a absolute clinic.
From 9th place.
Which is, I wasn't surprised. That track is actually honestly like Miami, super cool track. Like the venue, everything about it is sick. You race around the football stadium.
Yeah, the Hard Rock Cafe.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen that video, it'll be linked up. So you can check out all of the cool pictures of Miami Grand Prix. And they specifically built that track around that. They built the stadium, they built the track, everything specifically to handle F1. So it's really, really cool. There's like 30 different VIP sections and it's badass.
There's a lot of other people like Red Bull. I follow a lot of their pages, so there's a lot of Red Bull content going on that whole weekend. The only thing that kind of sucks about it, and I think it's very similar to SoFi Stadium here in Southern California, is that it's very corporate business outing driven. Like the whole Miami circuit is it looks like, Red Bull was there. They're a huge sponsor, a huge team player. So they had all their people out there, VIP, blah, 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 blah. And then you have all the celebrities there. People from fucking Fast and the Furious were there. Tom Cruise was there. Elon Musk was there. So it's like a very corporate outing. And that's actually the one thing I did read somewhere or see somewhere. If you go to an F1 race in, say, Italy, Netherlands, anywhere, you go anywhere in Europe, it's very genuine fan base. versus here, it's just a corporate. It seems like it comes off
It's like
as
a
very
red carpet event.
red carpet event,
Yeah.
corporate outing, corporate sponsorship, because there's so much money involved here. Or not, I don't even say here, but it's like there's so
Yeah.
much big players throwing money at it. They feel like they need to entertain.
But I
And
think
feel like,
specifically recently, right?
yeah,
Because, like,
recently.
with Drive to Survive and
Yes.
everybody, it's just really on fire right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just corporate driven at the end of the day. That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
Versus not just like the generic guys, like all the racers that are the ex racers that appreciate it, or current racers that appreciate it, or just the genuine fans of the sport.
Yeah.
Like you go to NASCAR, it's not yes, there's some corporate outing, but it's just a bunch of rednecks that love watching guys go in a circle, and that they are there to pack the stands. Versus F1 is not. Like F1 is definitely the opposite of that.
Well, he still had 65,000 people there.
65?
65,000 sold out. Yeah.
I thought it was up like more than that. Was 65? Are you sure? I thought it was like triple digits.
Probably throughout the whole weekend. So
Got
they
it.
added
Okay,
all the days. But
I did see it was up. The positive is it was up like 30,000 compared to last year. I did see that stat, and which is great to see. You definitely love to see the sport continue to grow, and I mean that's good for us, right? Because hopefully people hopefully people like our content and our takes on it. I know we do have some hot takes. It might be controversial, but at the same time, I don't care. You know, all publicity is good publicity at the end of the day.
we're not paid to have an opinion other than our own opinion right now. So until somebody wants to sponsor our channel,
that's the one thing I will say is there's no. This will always. You can hold me to this. Snip this clip for your archives later. This will always be a free opinion state, regardless if you like Red Bull, Mercedes. Say you think Williams is the greatest team on earth, which Zach will probably comment here in 30 seconds. No, we're always going to tell it how it is and be very just transparent on the stuff, which, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, going back to the race results, Max put on an absolute clinic. Red Bulls were out front, out of control. I know they were kind of they keep trying to cause this controversy in the Red Bull camp, which is kind of annoying. Like, oh, Checo, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna pull him in the pit? Which they're on totally different strategies, starting at different points of the field.
I was really kind of interested in watching that strategy for Checo too, to see like, okay, essentially you guys have the same car. Checo's proven that he can be fast as well. So how come they aren't on, I don't know, like, all right, Checo, you have a fast as fuck car as well, obviously. Why don't you pit a little early? You get fresh tires, and then Max and you have a battle to the end. I don't, it's like, that's kind of my.
Do you think Red Bull as an organization is, I don't want to say maturing, but like changing, as in they maybe they learned from the Daniel and Max era, or the Weber and Vettel era, where they were taking each other out, and they're like trying to avoid that. So they're like, let's just put the drivers on totally opposite programs as far as pit strategy goes, and then let them, if it happens and they come down the race, it comes down the race. But they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, guys, you guys need to go have at it for the last 30 laps of the race.
I mean, my theory is Max is still the golden boy, so
I would agree with that.
I think they're going to give him the benefit whenever they can, even if it's going to be kind of a slight strategy advantage, so that way it doesn't look like a blatant screw, Checo. That's my theory.
I would agree. And I mean, in Red Bull's defense, you have to kind of coddle Max slightly, because he is the points leader right now and defending champion. So of course you're going to give him a little bit better of an edge in theory when it comes to strategy, right?
Yeah.
And I think you're an idiot for whether you're a manager of team or whoever, you're the what's Christian's title? I can't think of it right now.
Team principal.
Team principal, yeah. Yeah, so manager, whatever, team principal, whatever your role, or strategist even, you got to take that into consideration. So I can't dock them for that. I'm not mad at them for that.
No, not at all.
That's like running your business and be like, well, I'm going to short staff my employees in the high tide of the night and happy hour. No, that's stupid.
I mean,
so
as far as the team's concerned, it doesn't matter if Max wins or Checo wins. They're getting 1-2 in the points.
Yes.
So like, points wise, they're all like great, right? I think they just are biased towards Max because he's their golden,
the prodigy.
Yeah, he's the prodigy kid, and I think that he will make their life a lot harder if they don't cater to him.
Oh yeah.
Where Checo will just kind of like take it.
Yeah.
And I say that lightly because he's showing a lot of progression as far as his racing, I would say too, and kind of not playing as much team orders, sort of like Valtteri did, in 2021 a little bit where, okay, he didn't quite have as good a race pace or, wasn't quite as fast as Lewis, but he also stopped kind of just giving them everything all the time. I think he still played mostly a team game, just like I think Checo still plays mostly a team game, but there's certain times where they're stepping up a little bit more for themselves. And
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I'd say making the comment about Valtteri. Valtteri definitely had pace and he was definitely fast, but like there was definitely moments where he was not on pace.
Mhm.
And I think Checo is more so on pace more times than Valtteri is.
Yeah.
And so I think Checo's kind of been like, yeah, fuck that noise. I'm gonna do what I want.
I think Checo really does have the ability to win a championship, and maybe not if Max is there. Maybe Max is just better, and the team. But if not, I think Max or Checo does have what it takes.
I mean, let's be honest. Checo, I would say, is clearly fastest in the field minus Max. If you take Max out and you say you throw Pierre, Alex, any of those like second tier drivers that Red Bull tried to plug in that program at one point, I think all day that Checo is going to be faster. That being said, you have Max that is clearly faster. God loads of talent. As much as some of us hate to admit it, and just get tired of seeing him win.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're seeing, I think, like the new era of the new Lewis at the time. Lewis was in a league of his own for so long until Max came up. And yeah, Daniel would challenge here and there, but Daniel would have spurts and like obviously fade. So at the end, I mean, let's talk about Charles. Quiet third place. Like very quiet, very just kind of like, let's be honest, a sorry third place, just like drove around in no man's land by himself.
Yeah, and kind of Fernando, the same story, just in Fernando got third, I think.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Misspoke. I didn't have that many beers today, I promise.
No more drinking.
Third, and then what? Charles was fourth then.
Yeah. Or was Sainz fourth?
No, Sainz was one. Buy me some time.
So I mean, we could talk about Ferrari as well. I think actually Ralph Schumacher had a really good comment as far as Ferrari this year is, look, it's not the strategy, it's not Ferrari that's screwing the team. The drivers just aren't performing up to maybe their standard. And honestly, I said that to you, Tristan. I kind of agree. Leclerc I think he's a really good driver and he's good at taking it to the edge, but he does push it beyond him. He had 2 crashes, one in qualifying, one in practice. And he's shown too, like even last year, he's really quick, but his consistency is just not there, I would say. He has a lot of moments where he does push it too far,
That's and like you mentioned that Schumacher said that. It's just the drivers at Ferrari, and I think they need to I'm curious if Lewis does go to Ferrari for some reason. I know that's in the rumor mill.
Yeah.
If he does go to Ferrari, I wonder what that'll do for them. As long as the car is fine. I mean, we know Lewis can drive a car, but Lewis has also been at Mercedes for so long. How will he adapt to that different car?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, rumors are rumors,
Right.
I don't know that Lewis is going to leave.
It's in his track record.
It could be
when the team goes to shit, he jumps ship. So actually, forgive me, everybody. The results were Max, Checo, Alonso, Russell, Sainz, then Leclerc. So I don't even remember. I remember watching this, but I don't remember what happened for Leclerc. So my apologies. I was way off there.
Terrible. We need to do these like the day of.
Yeah, no. Life gets busy. Once you guys start paying my bills, then it'll be a lot more easy for me to just let's talk about the race as it's happening.
We have to. Yeah, then we'll have to.
Sorry, we have day jobs here. Dude, Pierre, let's talk about Pierre Gasly in top 10. Top 10 red. Well, actually both Alpines 8 and 9, so that's pretty solid for them.
Yeah, wasn't McLaren up a little better too compared to where they were, or no?
No,
they qualified good.
They qualified better. Norris was 17th and Piastri was 19th. I was bummed about my boy Sargent. I thought the home race was really going to play.
There's the thing about home races where generally, unless you're Lewis or you're Max,
right,
you tend to have a really shitty home race. Just kind of seems to be.
I can't read Sean's comment.
any guy in that car can win if Max isn't there. Yeah, I mean, especially this year, right? Red Bull is so hot, so fire. Their car is far beyond anybody else in the grid. Yeah, I think so too. I guess it would sort of be like Nico Rosberg, right? That beat Lewis at McLaren when they had just a super good car too.
But McLaren or Mercedes? Rosberg.
Oh yeah, I guess it was Mercedes. Yeah, it was Mercedes.
I was like, did I miss something?
You're right. It was just like earlier era, but yeah.
No, for sure. I knew what you were talking
Granted,
about.
you still had to beat Lewis, right? So, but
do you want to move into? I mean, that was obviously I
those are
rattled off.
Yeah, so
all the results. And
let's talk about fantasy.
Yeah, we can talk about fantasy.
Do you want to pull up our results?
It's on that phone, as it's on Instagram Live, so I can't do that. Sorry.
Well, I know I'm still in fourth. Sean, I think you're in fifth still. You jumped up quite a few places though. You're in like 13th.
I'm in 13th. After the previous, so after Baku, I was in like 18th, which was depressing. And then I moved up some spots after the sprint race weekend, and I've been kind of quiet 13th, just outside the top 10 there. Yeah. Updates on our Instagram story and the highlight reel on our F1 America profile on Instagram. Those are up to date. Series standings, which is exciting. Got a solid group of people, 36 people. I think if all you guys come back next year, we'll definitely do some prizes and stuff.
Yeah, we still want to. What we think? T-shirts for the top.
For sure, we'll definitely give those. I wanted to give out a couple different things. So depending on what happens, we will keep you updated on that.
We still don't know everybody's.
I don't know everybody's name, so you guys need to be better at messaging us.
If you guys want prizes, you're gonna have to let us know who you are too.
Right. But yeah, no, fantasy's going well. We've got a lot of traction there. A lot of fun with.
Where's the next sprint weekend?
I don't know the sprint weekend. I know the next race is
Imola.
Yeah, Imola. Actually, I know somebody. Oh, I don't know somebody directly. I know my friend's like uncle is going to a wedding in Europe, and then he's going to Imola, which I'm like mega jealous. I'm like, you're an asshole. So why didn't you invite me?
He should come on the show after. We should talk about it.
Oh, that would actually be really good.
I was trying to get some people from like Instagram to jump on that I saw we're at Miami, but
I guarantee you
it's too cool for our channel, I guess.
If we had 5,000, 10,000.
Oh, totally.
If we had any decent amount of traction,
I guarantee. So here's
people would have jumped on.
This is our vibe. We're gonna keep doing this, right?
Yeah.
So I guarantee you in like a year, 2 years, they're gonna be like, oh fuck, we had an opportunity to be on that. And we're like, yeah, well now you gotta pay us 20 grand to come on the show.
That's a little expensive. But I'm for it. I'm here.
All right, like hey, like sorry if you don't want to support us when we're just starting out and learning, like then you can go fuck yourself.
Right. No, exactly. Damn straight. I mean, fantasy's fantasy. Not much to really talk about there.
Not a lot of change.
Let's talk about the rumors.
Beyond Taylor Swift and Fernando.
Well, what about Margot Robbie and Lando? He didn't downplay that.
Is that the other one?
Yeah, he was hyping it up on, I think him and Carlos. No,
oh, there's another. So there's another rumor of Lewis Hamilton and Shakira.
That is so weird.
I just saw that one.
I haven't heard that. That's a new one. I haven't heard that one. Actually, the one I want to talk about is a little bit more juicy, not just romance. It's talking about Nick DeVries.
Oh,
hyped up, has not performed for shit. I think he finished 19th. No, yeah, or he was low in the bowl.
You think Danny Rick's gonna replace him?
The rumor is Danny Rick could.
You said
Nick has 3 races. I heard from a reputable source, because I talk to the Red Bull guys quite often because I'm fueled by Red Bull and sweet tea. But no, yeah, Nick DeVries could be. I read somewhere that it could be he has 3 races to figure his shit out. If not, Danny Rick went to Italy, had a seat fitting or forming, whatever the term is. He's formed a seat. He's basically getting ready to rock. And if it doesn't happen, Danny's taking over the car, which actually I would love to see happen because I would love to see him in a different Red Bull car, like just to see how he does. Because imagine he jumps in that thing and he's like fucking top 10.
Yeah, but that car, Yuki's not. I think Yuki's not like the best driver, but I like him. I think he's decent. I don't think that car is worth shit this year. Honestly,
what did AlphaTauri?
I don't think because I don't think Nick is a terrible driver, but he's obviously having a hell of a time like getting the car hooked up.
But he's also Mercedes, so that's the other thing. Going back to Mercedes.
And yeah,
So
Lewis tried to go to Ferrari.
Lewis leaves Mercedes, goes to Ferrari. Is he going to struggle? Which I don't think there's that big of a difference, and they have good technology. But like, De Vries leaves Mercedes-based product, goes to Red Bull, and can't drive for a shit.
Yeah, I think Lewis is a different type of driver. You know what I mean? I think Lewis is a different league.
Yeah,
I think you throw him in whatever and he'll figure it out, kind of like Fernando does. Right? That's my opinion. Not that I don't think Nick is good, but I mean, even if you have the best car, you've got to be top tier to be consistent all the time. So I don't know. I'm interested to see if Danny Rick gets in there because we know he's a good driver and he hasn't been able to, put it together at McLaren.
right.
And really, he was on good pace for Renault, right, before it turned to Alpine. He was doing pretty good for them. Like he got them their first, was it podium or race win?
Yeah, I think it was a third or second.
Yeah,
so podium,
and then McLaren's first win in a long time.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see. I just don't think the AlphaTauri is like a good car this year.
Things did fall properly for Danny Rick's McLaren win. Not taking that from him, but like I'll call a spade at the end of the day. Like Danny, definitely the cards fell in his favor. But at the same time, McLaren did him dirty, so fuck McLaren. That's the only guy that's got a race win. So yeah, that's the biggest rumor that I really wanted to talk about, which I wonder how much he can extract out of that car. A. B. Why doesn't AlphaTauri just rip off the Red Bull car? I don't know. That makes zero sense to me. That's your farm team. Just literally change something just a hair, like a ball hair different. And like then they can be waxing.
I mean, they should essentially be ahead of the Aston Martin, right?
Fuck me. You're telling me, Cotton.
Because Aston Martin basically ripped off the Red Bull, but has all Mercedes powertrain and right, like rear end and everything. So kind of
speaking
interesting.
of Aston Martin, that's a good segue to our next segment. Let's talk about Fernando. Just killing it, sleeper.
Yeah, man,
driving the wheels off that son of a bitch. And yeah, no, it's stoked to see him on the podium again. I think he's a real contender for top 3 in the title.
Absolutely, yeah.
Checo said it too. He loves seeing 3 Red Bulls on the podium, which is comedy at best. The one thing I want to really talk about, though, you see him popping up in all the video clips, sniffing the trees, sniffing the flowers, just randomly like swirling out. He's like, and then you see him like walk out of the back of an interview, and you're like,
"Oh yeah,
what the hell
I think it was Max's interview too.
Yeah,
he's just in the background, like just sniffing these white flowers. I don't know what they are, but
it's super subtle. They're probably fake because everything in Miami is fake anyway.
Maybe that's what he was trying to find out. Are these real? But I feel like his facial expression made it seem like, oh, that was nice.
Yeah. I really want his hat, that yellow hat he wears. That
was
like
pretty cool,
neon yellow. That shit looks so sick.
We also the Red Bull one that Perez has been wearing for the Miami. Yeah, that was pretty dope.
God, the baby blue and hot pink. God, it gets me going. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, look at it. I got hot pink on.
Oh, look, background.
Yeah, there we go.
Miami Grand Prix background.
Yeah, no, I mean Miami. At the end of the day, I don't think it's the greatest racing circuit.
I do like the track though. I like how technical it is. I know they're talking about taking out like that one like tricky
chicane.
Yeah, like a little S corner. I think it's cool. I do.
I think the track is great. I think the cards are too big at the end, and this is for almost every track. I think Coda is like the only track, or like the big, like the mega circuits.
And what France and the Russia one that we don't have anymore. But because those are actual tracks, they're not street circuits.
Yes.
And although so the Miami race is essentially they don't drive on the part of the track like they do in Monaco where it's the actual road.
Yes.
But this is still, I believe, considered a street circuit, and there's roads that they do drive on that are intersecting the course. So
what's wild to me too though is like they were talking about like traction was such a issue. So this goes back to the conversation.
So they resurfaced it.
Oh, okay. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So this goes back to the conversation we had with, I think it was Sean when we had him on the show, and he was talking about the different tire compounds. Like back in the day, it was way better because you could pick from all of them. Why? Okay, so we know that the track is not very high bite, right? There's not a lot of traction there, especially if you resurface it, which I don't know why you would resurface it only in a year of racing on it, which makes zero sense to me. But anyways,
Well, it probably breaks down though, right? It's like depending on what compound they use. Sometimes they will resurface them quite often, but what happens is most of the time you have a lot of different circuits being raced, like different
Right.
federations.
right.
There's only I believe the Porsche Cup
Mhm.
and then F1. So like F2 doesn't race on there, so that doesn't break the track in either.
Right.
So basically, F1 cars are having to break in the track for themselves and lay rubber down. So if you notice, like going off like offline a millimeter or like
Right.
3 millimeter, like it'll
cars
send
stepping
people
out,
off
yeah.
off the track.
So that's what's like annoying me. So if you know that there's low bite track, why wouldn't you run a different compound? This goes back to what Sean was saying. Like, we don't run the compounds that, like, all the compounds are there in the arsenal, but they only pick 3. And every racetrack, unless it's a rain race, they pick the same 3 compounds: a soft, a medium, and a hard. Why, in this case, this would be the perfect example for the FIA and Pirelli to say, hey, we're going to bring in the C2, like the super soft compound.
Well,
That would have
so
made the racing, like, I don't know if it would have made it much better, but just to see that you used a different tire.
well, I didn't see it look, but so they do still have 5 tire compounds,
Yes.
but they only allocate 3, and those 3 are in a row.
Right. No, exactly.
they
So,
may have
they should have
been
moved
on
it over to the left.
They might have been.
No, they weren't.
They still call them C1, C2, C3.
Right.
Or,
No,
I mean,
I looked at it. It was only soft, medium, hard. They didn't do, like, they should have ran a super soft, a soft, and a medium.
Sorry, they always call it soft, medium, and hard,
Uh-huh.
but it could start at C1 or it could start at C3. So the soft is either a C1,
Got it.
a C2, or a C3.
Right.
And then the medium's either, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
And then the hard is either 3, 4, 5.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes
So
sense.
they do still use those compounds. It's like the 3 adjusts on like a slider.
So when I looked at it, I remember seeing the clip of it, and it was still the middle 3 that they always use. That's my complaint. Like, okay, like if you know,
so why didn't they move them?
Yeah, you should, like, being at a low bite track, like, why not, like, take advantage of the opportunity to run that and just to see it differently, like, because maybe that makes the Ferrari more competitive, which it's not. At the end of the day, like, Red Bull is just going to go that much more faster.
But it does play into strategy a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. You could have seen some guy do run a super soft and just try to take the fastest lap, or hey, like, Fernando's going to throw super softs on and try to catch up to Checo, etc. Pretty sure Instagram took a shit because there's nobody watching. Either they all logged off or Instagram took a shit. One or two.
You're like, screw us.
That's probably that's like the biggest pet peeve of mine of racing, right? Like, with the FIA is that, okay, if it's a rain race, cool, you're running inters and wets. And if you're not, you're running soft, medium, hards.
Yeah.
It's always like that, which is fresh. I mean, I get it. Texas, they race a bunch of different stuff on that. So the traction's high by, so that you need to be in the middle ground.
Yeah.
And it's warmer. Cool. But, like, okay, Monaco, why don't you run super softs? We know they're not going to run super softs. We know Monaco is going to be the same tires, soft, medium, hard, which we're never going to touch hards there. Actually, I did find out from somebody that if you wanted to rent a yacht there, I think you need 5 people. It's $3,500. You could watch the race from the yacht for $3,500 per person.
Per person?
Yeah, that's not really that bad.
It's actually not that bad.
Yeah. From a 150-foot super yacht, just chill and watch the race from there. I'm like, that's pretty dialed.
That'd be okay.
I cannot confirm that. I don't know the pricing. I don't know taxes, but that's what
like in Nice and drive in too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could start a GoFundMe and see if we can raise enough money.
I will not do that. We're not doing that.
What?
No, I don't believe in GoFundMe.
You can go fund anything as long as you're truthful about what you're funding.
Well, I guess that's the only fair argument you have right now. I think that's pretty much all we need.
Yeah, that's really the biggest stuff. No race this weekend. Imola is next weekend, so we'll be covering that.
What day is that? Do we have to wake up an ungodly hour to watch?
Oh man, I literally just looked at the Las Vegas one because Maxine's trying to get us tickets or something to go. I don't know. She knows somebody.
Am I included in that?
Yeah, I said, well, Tristan's coming too.
Okay.
She knows
correspondent. F1 American correspondent.
That's right.
Live.
Somebody that gets like free rooms at the Bellagio or something. So potentially we could cruise in and at least watch the show from the room. I don't know. Anyway, so in the works, but the Las Vegas race is on Saturday night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it starts at like 10 p.m. What the fuck?
Well, that's probably no. That makes
I
zero.
don't- It
That
doesn't
makes
make
zero
any
sense.
No sense.
0 cents.
Yeah,
Fuck, Candace calling me again.
doesn't make any sense.
Um,
Well, we can wrap up too.
Yeah.
So, guys, thanks for joining us. A lot quicker today. Just Miami recap. Join us next week for the Imola race. Yeah, we're gonna have some cool like reacts videos coming up of just us like watching fucking NASCAR or something and commenting. If there's any videos you guys want to see specifically or see us react on, yeah, just let us know. Shoot us a message on Instagram or here on YouTube. So
go buy a shirt. Support
buy
the
a shirt.
cause.
That's right.
They're
It
great.
will go back into
They're
the channel.
tri-blend material. They're lightweight.
It's comfy. I like
They
it.
make you look jacked. Live from the paddock, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next week.
You.